Okay, we are going to evaluate expressions. And in order to evaluate expressions, we need to use substitution. Substitution is replacing a variable with a given value and solve. Now I want you to remember, as we are getting ready to do these evaluating expressions, remember your order of operations. You will need to use those when we are evaluating expressions. So we always do the parentheses first. After parentheses comes exponents. Then it would be multiplication or division. And if you can remember, it's whichever comes first. And then the last step would be addition or subtraction. Again, whichever comes first. Okay, so you need to remember your order of operations as we are working through evaluating expressions. Okay, let's jump into example 1. We have 8x and x is equal to -2. Now we talked a little bit about this before. When you have a value, which is the coefficient, and we're multiplying that by a variable, then we understand that when they're right up next to each other like that, the operation is going to be multiplication. So I'm going to take that x and I'm going to substitute in the -2 because x is equal to -2. 8 times -2 is -16. That would be evaluating that expression. Okay, example 2, we've got 4 plus p to the second power over 2. And p is equal to -4. So I'm going to substitute it. So 4 plus -4 raised to the second power over 2. So I took the p out of the equation, out of the expression, and I substituted in -4. Okay, so I took p out and put the -4 in its place. I'm going to go this way. So now I have 4 plus -4 times -4, not -4 times 2. -4 times -4 is positive 16 over 2. So now all we have left is addition. So 4 plus 16 is 20 divided by 2. And 20 divided by 2 is equal to 10. Okay? So you're removing the variable and substituting in the value that has been given. All right. 2 more examples. We have 3 plus x, all in parentheses, raised to the third power, minus 2y. So we know that x is equal to -1, and y is going to be equal to 15. Okay, so the first thing I would do here is change that subtraction to adding a negative. So I'm just going to rewrite 3 plus x, all raised to the third power. So we're keeping that. We are changing subtraction to addition, and positive 2y becomes -2y. Now we're all set to substitute. So my x is negative 1. So I put negative 1 in here, raising that to the third power, plus negative 2. And we know that when we have a coefficient and variable together, we know that's multiplication. So I'm going to put in my parentheses times 15. Okay, so y is 15. So 3 plus negative 1 is positive 2 raised to the third power plus negative 2 times 15. So 2 to the third power is 2 times 2 times 2, not 2 times 3. It's the number multiplied by itself 3 times. So 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. So this becomes 8 plus negative 2 times 15 is 30. So I have more negatives than positives, so my answer has to be negative. And I'm just going to subtract these two numbers, and I'm going to get negative 22. Okay, last example. Negative with parentheses, 4 plus m raised to the second power plus 10n. So m is equal to 2 and n is equal to 5. Now, when you are looking at this, we see this negative sign sitting out here all by itself. But there is a number that is associated with it that's automatically there. If you don't see any other number like a 2, a 5, a 7, a 25, then we automatically understood that what's with this negative sign is a negative 1. Okay, so we know that there is a negative 1. That 1 is attached to that negative sign, and it's automatically understood to be there. So I'm going to write that in again. 4 plus m is 2 raised to the second power plus 10 times n, which is 5. So negative 1 times 4 plus 2. 4 plus 2 is 6 raised to the second power plus 10 times 5. Now, order of operations, we do our exponents first. So negative 1 times, what's 6 times 6? 36 plus 10 times 5. Negative 1 times 36 is negative 36. 10 times 5 is 50. Now, in this case, I have more positives than negatives, so my answer has to be a positive. And I'm just going to subtract those two, and I'm going to get 14. So the answer to that expression is going to be 14.